life, wisdom.
Hey everyone, my name is Courtney Bell. Thanks for stopping by to watch this video. It's a yoga video focusing on flexibility. As we build flexibility, we're also building our strength. This is going to allow your body to naturally open in correspondence to the strength. Favorite this video so you can watch it over and over. It builds in intensity from the beginning sequences to the final sequences. So it's possible that you might not make it through practicing with the entire video. That is fine. Feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know how far you get in the series. And then again, just keep watching it. Practice to the point where you feel comfortable. And eventually, if you haven't made it through the video already, you will progress to the complete video. So you're going to begin standing with your feet about hip width apart. And we'll inhale, reaching your arms out to the sides and up overhead. Exhale, retrace that pattern and bring your hands down through your base and return to prayer at your heart. Inhale, inhale, and extend open. Exhale and return to the center at your heart. One more cycle. Inhale, stretching your shoulders open, reaching from your feet all the way to your fingertips. And then exhale, return your hands to the center at your heart. Now moving into some lateral stretches, bring your left hand to your hip and your right hand up overhead. As you arc over your left side, you're going to kick your hips out to the right side. And then inhale, switching sides. Right hand to your hip, left hand up, kicking your hips out to the left. And a couple more times. Your base is stable to support the rise of your spine off to the side. And inhale. Exhale, base of your body supports the upper body to stretch. One more time to each side. Exhale as you arc. Inhale to center. Exhale to arc. Inhale to center. Hands come to your heart. Now from the top of your mat, bring your hands behind your hips. Your fingers can point up your back, elbows draw together to lift your heart, lift your throat, and open into standing back bend. Heels are firmly planted to establish the foundation for your heart to rise and your head to pour over behind you. Rise back to stand. Gently bend your knees for Utkatasana, chair pose, generating the fire in our thighs and in our belly and in our shoulders and our arms. Again, the strength that we cultivate in our practice serves the flexibility and the fluidity that you will also receive. So we fold forward. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Let your feet be comfortable, hip width apart. We'll bring your spine forward as you inhale, and as you exhale, flow back down. Bend your knees to relax your hamstrings so you don't pull on a tight muscle. When we are working with flexibility in yoga, we want the muscles and the joints to open together. So if our joints aren't ready and we try and stretch our muscle too much, we run into an injury. So just be gentle in the beginning as you're developing this flexibility. Place your hands down to the mat and step your feet back into downward dog. Again, in downward dog, keep your knees bent so you're not overextending your hamstrings or over-rotating your hips. And with your heels lifted and your knees bent, you're going to spring up through your thighs, shift your heels off to the right side, and bend your knees so that you sit your hips back towards your heels. Good. Again, we're stretching your side body here as well as developing strength and flexibility in your shoulders and arms. So to the other side, bend your knees, kick your heels to your left, and sit back, stretching your body back to your heels and forward through your fingertips. Good. Inhale, and then exhale. Return your hips to the sky in downward dog. From downward dog, inhale, lift your heels, roll your spine forward into plank pose. And then exhale, pull back. Inhale, lift your heels, roll forward into plank pose. And exhale, pull your hips back. Last time, inhale, roll forward into plank pose. You can lower to your knees or take full chaturanga all the way down to the ground. Unhook your toes. And for this variation of cobra, I'd like you to widen your hands off to the sides of your mat so that your chest is nice and broad. Fingertips to the ground. And sway from your right side to your left side. Opening some movement through your rib cage, but also developing some strength in your upper body and your arms. Then back to center for cobra. Hands under your shoulders, elbows in. Lift your heart as you reach back through the tips of your toes. Return to the ground and press up and back for downward facing dog. From downward dog, walk your feet forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Roll your body up to stand. Arms open. Hands overhead. And exhale, fold back into standing forward fold. From here, keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot back and lower your knee to the ground. You can have your toes hooked or you can unhook your toes. We're going to bring your hands to your hips, lift your chest over your body, and if you feel comfortable, extend your arms overhead. You want to let your hips drop down towards your front heel as you lift your heart away. Then exhale, bring your hands down to your mat, step back into downward facing dog. Nice. Now step forward with your left foot. Lower your right knee, toes hooked or unhooked. Hands to your hips to lift your heart. Either keep your hands steady as your base or draw them up over the crown of your head. You're going to exhale, return your hands to the mat. Step forward. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll yourself up to stand. Stretch your arms overhead and then fold right back in. This time, keep your left foot forward. Step your right foot back and keep your knee elevated. Your back knee elevated. So we're in a runner's lunge. I'd like for you to shift from your left to your right so you can feel your hips swaying. And as you sway, then return to center, you'll feel that natural steady core running through your body. I'd like for you to plant your hands, draw up through your foot, and hover it back into plank pose. So this is developing some strength in your legs and in your core. With that strength, we're going to open into greater flexibility through your hips by drawing your left leg to the sky in downward dog splits. You can bend this top knee and lift it over your pose if that feels comfortable. And you could also keep your hips squared and extend your legs straight back. Replace your foot. And let's lift your right leg up. If you bent your first side, go ahead and bend this knee as well. Square your hips. And step forward with your right foot into a lunge. So you're going to have a runner's lunge. Shift from the right side to the left side, forward and back, so you find your center. And then step forward to the top of your mat. Roll your body up to stand. And for our final cycle, exhale, folding back in. Inhale, stretch your spine long. This time, step both feet straight back into downward dog. From downward dog, lift your heels, roll forward into plank pose, and exhale, come all the way down to the ground. Inhale, unhook your toes, fingers wide or palms down, and we're gonna sway right to left and right to left, and then back to center, hands under your shoulders, rising into cobra, or if you'd like to scoop up, upward dog. Exhale, return, hips high, downward facing dog. Fingertips open, surface of the palms drawing up through the shoulders. Let's extend your right leg to the sky, bend your knee, make a big circle with your right knee, and then retrace your circle, sending a little wheel of energy through your hips. And then draw your right foot forward in between your hands. Pivot your back heel down. For warrior one, your hips square towards the front of the room, the front of your mat, and we lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down. Hover your right foot, send it up to the sky in downward dog splits. Return your right foot alongside your left. Inhale your left leg. Bend your knee, open your hips to the sky. Create a big circle around the left side of your body. Retrace the circle all the way up. And then draw your left foot forward in between your hands. Pivot your back heel down, hips squared to the front of your mat. Inhale, warrior one, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down into a lunge. Hover your left foot back. Send it to the sky and downward dog splits. Both feet to the mat. Inhale forward to plank pose. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Either all the way to the ground in cobra or up in upward dog. Exhale, return your hips to the sky in downward dog. And ride the flow of your breath. Now from downward dog, let's step your feet forward to the top of your mat. Have a seat down behind your heels. And we're going to rock onto your back. Keep your knees bent into your chest and wrap your arms around your legs to create a nice little cocoon for yourself. Rocking from the left side of your spine to the right. So from here, you'll place your left foot to the ground and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. This is a great pose for opening flexibility in your strong legs and your strong hips. So you might want to stay right here if this feels like it's moving and circulating around your hip. Or if you want to go deeper, draw your left knee into your chest and thread the needle with your right hand. Interlace your fingers around your left shin. As you draw into figure 4, in this hip opener, again, think about the strength that goes right along with your flexibility. So you don't want to push through any barriers. You want to breathe through and flow through. So the strength is going to mingle with your flexibility. So don't get frustrated if you aren't as deep into your hips as you think you should be or as if you'd like to be. Be compassionate with yourself. Be compassionate with the life you live and your activities and everything that makes you strong, and also everything that cultivates flexibility. We're just switching sides. So now your left ankle is crossed over your right knee. And go to your level of comfort on this side. We might be very flexible in our right side and very awkward in our left side. That is completely normal. Different sensations can occur from one side to another, so we just cultivate the ability to be present in our practice, day by day, side by side. And place your feet down. Reach back to touch your heels, and let's do a gentle bridge pose to lift your hips and plant down through the back of your shoulders. Exhale, return your hips to the ground. Soles of your feet together, knees butterfly apart for cobbler's pose, reclined variation. If this is uncomfortable for your knees, you'll place blocks or cushions or blankets under your thighs so that your knees aren't just hanging out and freaking out without any support. If you're open enough to go without support, feel the inner hips opening, soles of the feet together. And you can stay here as long as you like. This pose is great to stay in for 5 minutes or more, but you can also extend your feet and find a resting pose in Shavasana. And welcome to stay in Shavasana as well, for as long as you'd like. Whenever you're ready to come out, generate some movement through your toes, through your fingers, and then bend your knees, rock or roll up to a comfortable seat. And great job practicing with me today. Let me know how you did, how far you got along in the series, and if there was anything that really spoke to you. If there was anything that was really too challenging for you, feel free to watch the video over and over. You can learn a lot just by watching and practicing as well when you feel like you're in the mood. But also watching the movements does go a long way. So don't get frustrated if there's ever anything in yoga that you can't do. If it's not comfortable, no problem. There is plenty of other stuff to explore, and I look forward to hearing from you in the comments how you're enjoying the practice and how you're feeling with your flexibility and the balance you have with your strength, both on the mat and in life. So enjoy your practice. Thanks again. Namaste.